You ever drive past a house so bright it practically scorches your retinas? Yeah, that's my house. Go ahead, laugh. I know how it looks. But believe it or not, this all started because Karen, our HOA's self-proclaimed queen bee, handed me a violation notice like she was delivering a royal decree. Repaint or pay the price, she told me, all pursed lips and pastel cardigan. Now, I could have caved, gone with the HOA's favorite shades of sadness, mushroom taupe, oatmeal, whatever, but you know what? If they wanted me to repaint, I'd give them a color they'd never forget. What followed wasn't just a paint job. It was all-out neighborhood war, a showdown between power and stubbornness, with my house as the battlefield. So buckle up, because this isn't just a story about paint. It's about what happens when you push the wrong neighbor too far. But before I drag you into this mess, tell me, where are you watching from? And what time is it in your corner of the world? You know, just so I know how many witnesses I've got. See, I never saw myself as the guy who starts trouble. I was the blend-in type. My house painted the safest beige known to man. Beige is like Switzerland. It never picks sides, never offends, just quietly exists. At least, that's what I thought until Karen showed up. Her letter, folded into perfect thirds, was slipped under my doormat, smelling like floral overkill and passive-aggressive authority. Your house color is no longer in compliance with community guidelines, it bellowed, promising fines that could pay for a used car. If you've never dealt with an HOA, let me tell you, these people make the IRS look like a bunch of slackers. Karen strutted up to my porch later that day, clipboard in hand, pastel sweater, pearls glowing like badges of self-importance. "Hello, David," she cooed, like she was about to announce I'd won the lottery. "Have you seen the notice?" I waved it at her. "Oh, you mean this love letter?" "Yeah, I got it." She didn't laugh. "Our neighborhood has standards, and your siding looks tired." "Tired?" I shot back. "Karen, it's beige. Beige doesn't get tired. It just exists." She wasn't amused. "The board has approved a list of acceptable colors," she told me, "and I'd better pick one by the end of the week." I saw a couple of neighbors peeking from behind curtains, enjoying the show. It wasn't just about my house. It was about Karen reminding everyone who ran things. I could have let it go, but you ever get that itch? The one where the more someone tells you what to do, the less you want to do it? Yeah, that happened. Next day, little reminders started popping up, sticky notes on my windshield, anonymous flyers in the mailbox about non-compliant homes lowering values. Karen even brought me up at the HOA meeting, projecting photos of my house like mugshots in a PowerPoint about community aesthetics. "This," she declared, pointer tapping, "is what happens when we let things slide." I raised my hand. For the record, it's still beige. Maybe oatmeal at a stretch. That got a few laughs, except from Karen. Not every neighbor hated me. Most were just too scared of Karen to speak up. My buddy Rick, 3 doors down, leaned over and whispered, "If beige is a crime, half of us are felons." Karen wasn't having it. "Enough. We will not tolerate defiance." That's when I realized this wasn't about paint. It was about power, about turning me into an example so nobody else stepped out of line. Karen's campaign got relentless. Official HOA envelopes piled up, one every couple days, each with new threats about fines, community aesthetics, and your neighbors are watching. That one made me laugh. Was she going to hand out binoculars next? Then came the orange final notice, taped to my garage door. I stood there, coffee in hand, staring at it, thinking, really? Beige is the hill you want to die on. Karen started her whisper campaign, too. I caught neighbors gossiping by the curb, shooting glances at my house like it was radioactive. The next HOA meeting, Karen started up again. "If we allow one person to flout the rules, soon the neighborhood will spiral into chaos." I couldn't help myself. Polka dots next, right? That actually got a couple snorts from the back. Karen spun around, eyes shooting daggers. "Excuse me. Just saying, purple's regal. Could work." She was about ready to ban laughter. But under all the drama, I could sense something shifting. Rick started joking about painting his house in stripes. A few neighbors, tired of Karen's routine, grinned at me in solidarity. But Karen wasn't letting up. She'd walk her poodle Daisy past my house 3 times a day, phone in hand, snapping evidence. One Saturday, she marched up, tapping her clipboard like it was a sword. "We've given you ample time. Pick a compliant color." "Tell me, Karen," I said, "if I chose neon yellow, would that be okay?" She recoiled like I just cursed in church. Absolutely not. Neutral earth tones only. So, 50 shades of beige. Don't be smart. Too late. Thing is, every threat just made me dig in harder. I started researching the wildest paint colors I could find. Neon yellow, blinding lime, turquoise, so bright it looked radioactive. I ordered swatches and taped them up on the wall. My dog would just stare, squinting, wagging his tail. That was a green light, in my book. I wasn't just going to comply. I was going to do it in a way Karen would regret forever. But first, I had to be sure. I read the HOA bylaws cover to cover. Turns out, nowhere did it say you had to choose from their list, just that it had to be a single, uniform color. No murals, no stripes, but nothing about how bright. I called a lawyer buddy just to check. He about died laughing. Legally, you could paint that house hot pink, he said, and they couldn't do squat. I had something brighter in mind. I hired a crew, swore them to secrecy, and scheduled the paint job for early Friday, right when Karen would be at yoga with her cronies. The crew's foreman, Mike, looked at my swatch and just shook his head. You sure? Oh, I'm sure. By 7:30 a.m., the first roller hit the siding. By 8 o'clock, my house was half gone, buried under blinding neon yellow. Rick showed up with a cooler, grinning like an idiot. You're nuts, man. I love it. By 9 o'clock, drivers were slowing down, shielding their eyes, neighbors gathering across the street like it was the Super Bowl. And then came Karen. Her SUV screeched to a halt, Daisy flying into the dashboard. She stormed up, latte and clipboard, jaw on the sidewalk. What is this? Mike, bless him, dipped his roller and said, It's paint, ma'am. The crowd cracked up. You can't do this. Karen screeched. I stepped down, arms wide. You said repaint. I repainted. One color. No patterns. I pulled out a copy of the bylaws, ready for this exact moment. Single, uniform color, doesn't say which one. Karen skimmed, her face falling as the truth hit. The neighbors lost it. Rick actually fell off his cooler. Even Mr. Jenkins, the oldest guy on the block, clapped slow and steady. By noon, my house glowed like a radioactive lemon drop. Kids stopped for selfies. Teenagers started calling it the lighthouse. Even the UPS guy laughed. Man, I could see this place from 3 streets over. Karen tried everything, called the board, staged a sidewalk protest, even brought in a city inspector. He squinted, checked his meter, and shrugged. Ugly, but legal. Karen looked like she was about to combust. She called for an emergency HOA meeting that night. Standing room only, people from other neighborhoods showing up for the spectacle. Popcorn and everything. Karen stood at the front, a blown-up photo of my house behind her. This is destroying property values. Children are traumatized. I raised my hand. Karen, the only trauma here is yours. The room broke out in laughter. Rick stood up. He followed the rules. If you don't like the rules, change them. Suddenly, people started speaking up, complaining about Karen's years of petty power trips. Someone even called for a vote of no confidence. That's when the twist hit. Linda, one of Karen's own board members, quietly suggested maybe it was time for new leadership. Hands shot up all over the room. The tally wasn't even close. Karen was out, her pearls rattling as she stormed out, Daisy trotting behind. The place erupted in cheers, Rick holding his beer can aloft like a trophy. I just leaned back, neon house glowing behind me, grinning wider than I had in years. But it wasn't just about me. The neighborhood changed. People started waving at each other, cracking jokes about the lemon drop house. Real estate agents put walking distance from the famous viral house in their listings. I even met a young couple who moved in because they heard about our little rebellion. You gave us hope, the wife told me. Karen, meanwhile, faded away. Her lawsuits didn't stick. Her emails got ignored. She moved out one morning and nobody waved goodbye. Sure, my house blinds birds and delivery guys complain about headaches. My driveway feels like a solar panel on hot days. But every inconvenience is worth it. Because sometimes, the boldest act of rebellion isn't just for you. It's for everyone stuck under the thumb of petty tyrants. So if you're out there, wondering if it's worth standing up for yourself, yeah, it is. Sometimes the brightest revenge is the one everyone can see from 3 blocks over. And if you've ever been in a war with your HOA, or got a story about a neighborhood tyrant, drop a comment below. I want to hear it. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, because around here, the stories just keep getting brighter.